Yeah, this is a book review of Sextinction, a reflection on modern relationships and technology by Dr. Debra Soh. The interplay between technology and nature reveals a stark truth that human ingenuity cannot override the fundamental laws of biology. While we often believe we can navigate and conquer any challenge, the reliance on technology to suppress our innate instincts leads us into a precarious situation. This reliance can divert us from our true selves, creating a disconnect that is increasingly uh, evident in our relationships. In today's society, technology has set unattainable standards, fostering unrealistic expectations and about personal connections. The allure of social media can lead individuals to believe that they can attract the attention of those with vast followings, distorting their self worth basically their self-worth. And as a result, many young women are gravitating towards polyamory and casual encounters rather than traditional romantic relationships. This shift is compounded by the rise of vanity and narcissism, where self esteem is often diminished by curated lives presented online. The landscape of education and employment is also shifting, with young men facing challenges that hinder their professional growth. This has led to a rise in elective fertilization, looks maxing, and a trend of young men taking on roles as house husbands. Meanwhile, Generation Z reports a significant report of from intimate relationships. As more women enter the workforce and achieve higher levels of education, that their male counterparts, the dynamics of the gender roles are evolving. Women are increasingly becoming self sufficient, no longer reliant on men for economic stability, which has transformed traditional relationship expectations. The 666 rule she discussed has emerged as a societal benchmark for men, emphasizing physical attributes and financial success as prerequisites for desirability. Uh, Involuntary celibacy has become a reality for men, leading to feelings of rejection and hostility towards women, often manifesting in unhealthy fantasies. A significant portion of Generation Z is experiencing anxiety, with many relying on dating apps for validation, often seeking new connections even while on dates, indicating a deeper addiction to online interactions. As we navigate this complex landscape, it is essential to recognize the impact of technology on our relationships and the need for a more balanced approach to intimacy and connection. The internet is currently flooded with harmful dating advice, which can lead individuals astray in their pursuit of meaningful relationships. This proliferation of misguided guidance is particularly concerning as it may exacerbate existing issues in dating culture. Demographic trends reveal a stark contrast in family planning across different cultures. While many Africans are embracing parenthood, particularly in larger numbers, Asian populations, especially in Japan and Korea, are exhibiting a notable decline in birth rates. This shift suggests a growing preference for social connections and personal achievements over traditional family structures. The rise of technology and social media has significantly influenced societal values, leading to an era where physical appearance often takes precedence over deeper connections. As individuals increasingly prioritize superficial relationships, the emergence of alternatives like sex dolls and robots raises questions about the future of human intimacy, with projections indicating that by 2050, interactions with robots may surpass those who with human partners. The landscape of relationship is poised for dramatic transformation in the future. So, I really like the books, but now it's time for me to give you my testimony and input like I always do. And I find it crucial not to read books just to gain knowledge and insight, but it is very crucial to apply the knowledge to your own life. Um, I have a few questions out of all of the research that was done. The first question I have is, are the Gen Zs choosing to remain celibate? If so, then I think it's beautiful to some degree, as long as it doesn't do anything to diminish their mental health. The second question I have is, are marriages increasing or decreasing around the world? I looked it up, and the answer is a resounding yes. The other question I have is, are divorces increasing worldwide? I looked it up, and the answer is another resounding yes. Um, the last question I have, which is a little more intricate, out of all of those marriages and divorces, how many of those individuals didn't have an STD prior to the marriage, and how many of them got an STD during the marriage? There is no statistic for this question, unfortunately, and I doubt there probably ever will be. Um, Marriage creates families, and marriage is what constitutes the drive for having sex. Getting an STD during a monogamous relationship is a form of betrayal, but the betrayal magnifies within marriage. I was asked by a member of a church in my church to be a minister. And as an ordained minister, I would have the authority to officiate marriage ceremonies. I declined with no reason. They didn't understand why I wouldn't want to be certified. But it's mainly because if I had a church, I wouldn't let a couple get married without being tested for STDs. I would require a full scan and for those results to be disclosed to both parties, and I would require for the both of them to renew their vows every year with the same ritual. So I would never administer a marriage ceremony without both parties agreeing to a test, not in my church, not in my temple, and not in the eyes of my God. So I think we should start there. Maybe the churches. The churches and the ministers of those organizations that have the responsibility must hold themselves accountable for the decline to some degree. So, uh, again, Sextinction by Dr. Debra Soh. I give it 5 stars. Really good book. I highly recommend it.